Okay, so I'm going to use a socket source. So we'll just listen to particular socket IP port, socket port, and we publish some data. And we'll try to consume we'll see how to consume this data which is published on the socket source, and we'll do some simple operations, right? Okay, so this is the program. Okay, so every code, all these codes are available in Git. I'll give you the link. Okay, so when you want to create a Spark structure streaming, as I told you, it's going to be very similar as your normal PySpark job. Not much difference. So same, you need to import a Spark session object from PySpark.sql and then create a Spark session object, right? And you see what we are doing is Spark.read stream. So instead of generally we say spark.read.csv or read.json, something like that, right? Here we say Spark session object dot read stream. Instead of read, we say read stream. And then you need to provide the from which source you are going to read. So I am going to read from the socket, right? Basically a TCP. So that's what I say format as socket. When you want to read from socket source, you need to provide the host on which you need to consume. On particular from the local host, you are going to consume it, or it can be any remote server on particular port. The data are getting published, so you want to consume it. So you just provide the host name and the port number. So what it is going to return is, it is going to read the data and give you the data frame. So this is basically a stream data frame. And we'll see what is the schema of that the data frame which we consume, and also so for the debugging purpose. So basically you cannot use when you consume from the any stream source, you get a what is this stream data frame. You cannot apply like a show function on this because it's basically cannot work. So what you need to do is you need to write it into the target or sink. So the sinks, the supported sinks are again will go back. And I'll just close this. So we have a file sync, okay, like source we saw. We have a built-in output syncs or file sync. So basically, whatever data you consume from any stream source, you can when you can write it as a file stream. So continuously it will write it into particular path. So when you use a file sync, it can be a Kafka syncs. You consume the data from one Kafka topic, you do some operation and get the result and write it with another Kafka topic. In that scenario, you may use Kafka sync. And there is a for each sync. So basically, when you want to iterate, say example, you want to write it into some RDBMS system. Out of box, there is no sync for it. So basically what you need to do is you need to iterate this even the stream, the data frame, the stream data frame, or uh, the derived result data frame, and you need to loop through the each record, and then inside that for each you can actually write it into some target. It can be RDBMS or NoSQL. And there is a console sync where you want to put it into console sync, right, for debugging purpose. So this is one I'm going to start with this. So whenever we read from some source, we perform some operation, and we'll try to print it in the console and check once this works, and we'll put it into the basically the target. Okay, other syncs. And there is another sync called memory sync. Okay, so what I'm going to in this example show you is console sync. So that's what I say. The data frame dot write stream. So it's the API is very similar to batch. So when we say data frame dot write dot particular format, we write it into, say example CSV. So you say data frame dot write dot CSV of if path, it will write. So same fashion here also. The stream data frame dot write stream, and then you say format, which is a console, and start. So this will continuously read the data and start writing into the console. And you have to say until terminate, wait for the termination. So basically, it will basically all the streaming applications are 24/7 applications. Unless you kill it, it will run. So basically, it's a never-ending job. Unless any exception occurs or you manually kill only, the application will stop. Otherwise, it is basically a 24/7 jobs. Okay, so now what I will do is, so one window I will open uh, the TCP port. So we can use a netcat -lk. I will listen to, I think 1100 is a port. Okay, so now I'll go and start this application. So here for socket source, you don't you don't have any dependency jars to be included. For Kafka, you need to add a dependency jars. I will tell you how to add it, or how to where you need to put the dependencies. I will tell you when we go to Kafka source. For socket source and file source, you don't need to do anything. You just have to work like your batch. Spark, how you work on Spark SQL to do a data frame operation and SQL interface. Similarly, you work for streaming also, application also, especially Spark structure streaming application. I'll just run this. So you see what I did is, here I checked the data frame is streaming, it says true. And then the next in line number 23, I try to see the scheme of the data frame which is formed from your data source. It has a data frame which consists of only one column called value. So only one column will be there when you read a socket stream. So based on the different stream, you have a different columns. Okay. For socket stream, you will have a data frame with only one column called value. Now I'll try to publish some data here. Hello, PySpark, and Python. So I'll just enter. I typed and entered. See, it is able to consume this data. It is able to consume the data, and we did not do any operation. We just read the input and we tried to write the into the console sync. So this is how the streaming application works. It's a very basic one. Hello Scala. Since uh, so basically still I did not give any batch interval. Okay, so even structure streaming application also has a batch interval. Okay, or they call it as trigger interval. Okay, so every at what frequency it has to uh, start the processing. Like say example, you want to every 5 seconds you want to wait, and whatever the 5 seconds the data is getting consumed, you want to process that. You can actually set using the trigger interval or in a Spark structure streaming. If you don't set the trigger interval, it will work like whenever the data arrives, it will start processing. That's how it is working now. Any question on this?
No, but it's good.
Okay, all right. So I will stop this. Okay, so I will try to do the word count, same applications. Okay, so till now we know what it is doing. Spark's session object creation, and we are trying to read a socket, uh, trying to read the data from the socket source. Okay, now data frame is there, which has a column called value. Now, let's since we retrieve
No,
some, sorry.
no, but
Okay, all right. So since we type some free text, let's try to do the word count. We'll try to find out the occurrence of each word. So for that, what he can do is, since this is a data frame, right? In the data frame, you apply a function called exploit. Okay. So exploit function, what it will do, the exploit function will try to convert, it will try to work like transpose, basically each elements into rows. Okay, so what we are doing, we take a column, value column, and split by space, right? You say example, this is the one I'm publishing. Hello, how are you? So when you split by space, you have four elements. How, sorry, hello, how are you? I want to convert that four elements into four rows. You can use the exploit function. Okay, and then I'm just creating a aliasing. I'm changing the column value into word. So now it is going to have a word of for the each lines into multiple row in a the word column. Okay, so this is the example I given. Here you see the say example when you read from socket source, so it will be a data frame which consists of a row of particular line in the value column. Just a minute. I'm sorry. So, so I just whatever this line doing. So I just try to explain in a here. So it has data frame consists of a row of lines. So when you do split, it is going to consider a row of arrays, right? This like this. Then when you apply a exploit function, so for this I'm just did. So this will become a 4 rows. So a row of hello, how are you? Similarly, this will become hi is a one word, which will be one row, and a like is one row. And then we can actually do the count. Okay, so when you do count, it is going to show you the each word and its respective, because we do the group by word column, and you are trying to find out count. And so this data frame which will have count of each word, and we are trying to print it into this console. And you see here there is a output apart from write stream. We are also using the output mode. We say update. Okay, I will discuss this in very detail in the next class. Different modes are there. We'll go one by one and discuss. For now, we just say output mode and run this. I'll publish the same output. Sorry, the same input. I will try. So in the first batch, this has been the output of the first batch. This is the output of second batch. I hope you getting it. Please intro stop me if you have any doubts. Okay. And then so just stop this. So I will tell you one more example, and for the socket source. Okay, so here, so in the previous example, we saw whenever we publish data, when it's processing it. Say example, if you want to set the interval, so you want to wait for every 2 seconds or 5 seconds. I just put 5 seconds. Wait for 5 seconds and do process whatever the data consumed on particular 5 seconds, and do the word count for this. For that, what you need to do, so earlier we had a output mode and a format as console. If you want to set a batch interval or trigger interval, you need to say dot trigger and the processing time equal to, you can specify 5 seconds. So it has to specify in this format. 5 seconds. 1 minute means 1 minute, something like that. Okay. So it is going to act as same program, only the trigger interval we set here. So let me run this program. Also, I will take that. I'll pass all this three. This one. So it will wait for that particular 5 seconds to arrive. So this is at the next 5 seconds. So it retrieved the other batch. Now you see this here on the batch 1. This is the result of these 2 lines. Hello, how are you? I like Python programming so much. These 2 lines. In the next batch, after 5 seconds, I published one more line also. Hello, Sam. So you see the result getting appended, right? So this is the one. The result is getting outputted, updated, because we use the mode called here we use complete mode. That's why you see the previous interval data also. When you use update mode, you will see only the data which is getting updated. Okay, so we will see those things in a very detailed in tomorrow's session. So I'll just keep it simple this session, so that we just try to understand what is Spark structure streaming, what is source sync, and trigger interval, output mode. Just go through these concepts. Tomorrow we'll go on detail about the output modes and also other source types like file source and Kafka source. Any other query you have?
No, Pari. Very good.
Stop sharing my screen. Let me know if you have any questions. I can take, or we can close the call. Yeah, I will do that, Ananda. I'll pass this recording. Basically, I will after a couple of hours I will upload this video, and also I will share you the GitHub repository of this code and push it.
Thank you, Pari.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye everyone.
Bye.